Hello guys and welcome to Minecraft. I'm Devil Gaming. I have not done a thing like this for a very long time. I'm actually kind of excited. There's some cool stuff in the background. This is a project that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and oh my god, I can actually do it. Basically, I have an idea. I've had an idea for a project for a while now. I've wanted to build a city in creative, but I've wanted to build a big city, not just like a handful of buildings. I want to build something that's actually large and if I was to go back into survival, I'd be able to like live out in survival in this city, not have to leave the city once because the city would have everything it needs production wise and yeah. Also like some odd things for like roleplay purposes and stuff, but mainly I want to be able to live in this city and not have to worry about having to leave the walls or anything like that. Okay, so to start off with, as you can see, it's got like a bit of a cobblestone wall around the outside. My idea is that this used to be a castle because this thing here is going to be a palace. I'm hoping to have like a nice city hall palace looking thing. Have a oh really? All right, so it's got one main entrance, which is kind of this thing here. What my idea is that like part of this wall would have been destroyed long ago or whatever. It's old and ruins and fallen down and stuff. But there will be one really castle-y style entrance where the road goes in and there's like a drawbridge and stuff. And then there'll also be like an iron like modern bridge that goes just across the side because this hopefully is going to be the main road thing here because this comes from like this is more the central point because basically there's going to be like some kind of monument here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I'm going to call this city Redstone City because like redstone is cool and I have some quite cool plans for like automatic systems within the city using a buttload of redstone, like an absolute buttload. Okay, so I'll probably start from the beginning. So, City Hall. This will basically be like my house or whatever. There'll be a little road coming off that. There'll be the monument, and then the road will be split off into left and right. It will be one way. I'll have the roads designed for like driving on the left because I don't like driving on the right because driving on the right is, despite how right it sounds, it is truly the wrong way to drive. This road up here will go through the center part of the city. Basically, we're going to have the monument here. There'll be like a labs, so this is where I'm going to test all my like. Once I've got this building built, I'm going to use this as like my big lab area, almost like a warehouse or whatever, to just test lots of redstone contraptions and things, rather than just building it off to the side. I want to have somewhere dedicated to put them, so then I can also keep them and look back and see how my projects have evolved and stuff like that. There's going to be a bank, obviously, because like roleplay, and the city needs somewhere to keep its emerald storage. Um, this is going to be like a government advice building. Basically, this will be the biggest building in the city. And it's pretty much just going to be government based, so there'll be lots of like, it's generally just going to be offices, maybe some apartments, but I just kind of wanted to give it a purpose. So I've just been like, okay, that's the center for the government. I know we have a palace, but the palace wouldn't be open to public, just like Buckingham Palace in London isn't just open for people to walk into. That this would be like the government, like yeah. This is going to be the emergency centre for the city. It will have fire, police, and ambulance all set up in the one thing. The majority of this will be doubled up as a hospital as well. That's why it's so big. But down on the ground, all of this is going to be like car parks and stuff for like the main areas. But you'll have like police, fire, and ambulance, and all sorts of like depots down below. Maybe even have underground parking. I might have underground parking for most of these actually. Probably this one. Um, so yeah, they're gonna have like a little college thing. Just because like the people of this city are gonna need somewhere to live, and like there's housing around there, but they're also gonna need somewhere to learn. Wolf Tech, as you know, this is my like secret gaming corporation thing. This is I think this is gonna look kind of cool. It's basically gonna be buildings, two big buildings joined together with like a sky bridge or whatever you want to call it. Um, this one will be like the headquarters, and then this side will be more research and development. So it will be similar to the Redstone Labs, except this will be pretty much everything else. So like, stop dinging the phone. My God, get unplugged. This is going to be a museum. What I'm thinking of doing with this place is so. I'll basically want this to look like an old-fashioned train station, but like a Grand Central kind of train station thing. However, it's going to be a train station first, and then I'm going to like work on converting it so it looks like it used to be a train station, then it's turned into a museum. So part of it's going to be museum of the past, present, and then the future. So like space stuff in here. Present will be like just general like modern day stuff, and then I will attempt to do old stuff. What I'm also going to do is make it so this is more just so I can get an idea of just like okay, there is rough tracks and stuff that used to come out of here that aren't used anymore. Um, what I'm something I think is kind of cool is I'm gonna have you're gonna have a from the present you're gonna have a train to the past, and then you can like follow part of the old line, and then there's like points and stuff here, and they go back into the this one, so you can get a bit of a train ride from the museum as well. The post service will be based just behind the station because they would have had their own like little yard back in the day, and the post office would have used the railway as a means of transport. I have a cool idea for what I'm going to do for post as well. I'm going to try I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off, but I've managed to do something similar on a much smaller scale. But I'm going to have a go at making it so post boxes work. So you can put post in a chest and it gets sucked down by a hopper, and then all of the hoppers and everything in throughout the city will all lead to like a basement in the post office or something, and then from there they get delivered. If that makes sense, I think it's going to work. Fingers crossed, anyway. And yeah, this is going to be the station. This is the tracks that comes from like the kind of a shipping area, but not quite. It's like it's basically a port with no water sort of thing. So the track's going to come under here, and they're going to kind of join up at this station. This will be the main station, like the grand station almost. There might even be some like hotel rooms and stuff like that. I don't know yet. Okay, so moving around, we have a shopping centre. That's just going to be a general shopping centre thing. You need plenty of shopping in a city. There's going to be like apartment housing stuff just up against this wall here. Um, Bookshop. I realised I had absolutely nowhere to like do book stuff, so there's going to be an oldish looking building with books in it. Yep. What I've done with the buildings actually is I've kind of gone for the brick that I want them to be like themed as. So so like if they're just like the normal brick and cement and whatever you call it, that's just kind of gonna like just generic modern looking buildings ish. Iron is going to be massive, fancy, like really futuristic, expensive buildings, and then things like quartz and stuff. That's going to be really old fashioned. So like big, fancy, grand places, sorts of things. Just like the bank over here, that's going to be a really fancy, grand place because I use the quartz pillar. So is the college actually as well. Some of these others I've used different types just because the grey stone ones they'll just be general like bland. They won't look very fancy. They're just more for practicality. But these will all be flats and apartments and stuff. There's also going to be two quite large housing areas. I'm tempted to turn them into factories instead, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm going to leave them how they are. Moving around, we have the whole household goods and factory and shop. Sorry. So pretty much this will just be an IKEA. I, I might just make it an IKEA to be honest, but yeah. Um, so going around, we have more factories. That's not a factories. That's a fun club. That's not it. It's supposed to be clean. I promise. It's basically going to have casinos and bowling and like just general like fun things to do in there. Theme park. God knows if I'm going to do that. I want to have a go at making a roller coaster or something. We need something to attract tourists. There'll just be a little street with just a couple little random shops. So we're going to have food shops, clothing, potions, pet shops, and stuff. This is going to be another station. This is going to be a larger station because it's going to be next to what I'm going to call the events arena. So it's pretty much just going to be like a sports arena thing. It's going to be like a stadium of whatever kind, but it's not going to be given a special purpose. It's more just going to be this is just where stuff happens pretty much. I'm going to stick a big multi-story car park next to that because I kind of feel like that's important to have it next to a big station. You got the theme park, you've got the games and stuff, and yeah. Also, you got the government building behind it as well, so it's kind of in a good place. I realised I never made any kind of car dealership or anything, or like factory or whatever, so I'm gonna put this here. But I'm gonna make it ruined building just because I feel like, well, the city's not going to be brilliant, is it? There are going to be some rundown buildings, there are going to be some abandoned buildings, so that's probably what that's going to be. I might end up using it for something else, but for now, that's just my idea, just so I've got space to fill pretty much. Rail management, the office next to this station was going to be like the management HQ, so there'll be like maps of the rail lines. I might even get signal boxes sorted out so you can like you're in the little box and you flick a lever and it changes switches and stuff. Maybe, don't know yet. Every good city needs somewhere to dump its rubbish. That's just going to kind of go here-ish. Got a construction company. This will basically be where all like the tools and everything are stored for the city or whatever. Just they're just general like building materials and things will kind of go there. Coming around, going to have a stoneworks factory. So this is going to be basically have a massive, well, quite a few cobblestone generators in it, and it's also going to have facilities to turn said cobblestone into other stones like normal stone or stone brick or whatever, and all the other stone types as well. Wood factory. This is going to be a tall building because this factory is basically going to be artificially growing trees, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't think you can really technically artificially grow trees in Minecraft, but that's what that's going to be. There's just going to be lots of tree growing in there. This place is called an ore factory, but this is simply where any like ores and stuff that are delivered via the cargo station, that is like a branch off from the main rail line. They'll be delivered to these places. The like resources and stuff are delivered to these places, but this is basically where ores will be turned into their ingots and turned into blocks and just generally used for stuff, really. Yeah, this is going to be a station. This one's not really going to be much of a cargo station because that's what that is this side. But over here, on the other side of like the city storage area, I've put the chests here because I kind of want to get things. Oh, I forget you can't like have to like double tap on the ground. Basically, I'm going to have like storage containers like this, almost so they look like they're on the back of lorries. But I haven't shown you that yet, so shh, quiet. But yeah, pretty much this is going to be a city storage area, and there's going to be a loading yard, so there's going to be train line one side that loads from the city storage, and there's also going to be like a little boat area that connects to the canal. By the way, all of these random bits where the roads come off, I'm going to make them go really far so you can't see them, but in theory, these would lead to other places like other cities, towns, other highways, whatever you want to call it. So next to this is actually going to be the prison. There will only be one entrance to prison. This will be all fenced off and everything, but in the prison there'll actually be a courthouse. So if you have been summoned to court, you go straight to the courthouse. And if you're found guilty, rather than having to transport people to the prison, you simply just get left at the courthouse, and then you're already in the prison, sort of thing. So like this is this side would be the entrance for people that aren't in the prison. There'd be a big gate and stuff here, and then if you're found guilty, you just let out the sign and you're straight in the prison yard. I felt I might as well put some kind of military establishment in there because I mean you do have combat and stuff. You do have like you need somewhere to train people to defend the city. I mean the city is a castle thing basically, and then there's just going to be a small little training ground here with just like assault courses and stuff. Nothing too fancy. Over here we will have a city zoo. This dangerous at creatures bit was basically going to have like any hostile mobs in it, so people can go and see them in cages and stuff. And yeah, there'll also be an animal shelter here because I want to kind of centralize the animal stuff here. So there is a pet shop over there, but the pet shop is basically like brand new pets that have just been like have just come into the world, sort of thing. Animal shelters more for like rescuing animals and things, and I felt it was good to put it next to the zoo because let's say some animals aren't able to find another home or whatever, or they're too ill to be given away to a good home, they can simply be transferred over to the zoo, and the zoo can look after them and like just have them in areas. I know it'd be weird to see dogs and stuff in a zoo, but like, I mean, it's a zoo. It's a zoo. It's a Minecraft zoo. It's fine. But I just kind of thought that was quite nice to have that all together. Over here, I think this is going to probably be one of my favorites. Actually, is the movie studio. So all good cities have somewhere to make lots of money. I mean, we do have the factories, and I'm hoping the factories would be nice and productive, but we do still have a movie studio. I've actually made it so the movie studio is one of the very few exceptions that has anything that comes out of the city besides the airport. I'm not really finalized on the actual design for that yet. It's probably going to change quite a bit, but it's just generally an idea over there. But yeah, it's one of the only buildings, one of only two that actually comes outside of the city walls in order to have a movie set and stuff. Because I didn't want the movie set to be in the studio area because it's going to be right next to the palace and it's going to be right next to the noisy city. You've got the train lines and everything. You've got the prison and the zoo and just lots of things making noise. So I felt like it might be a good idea to have the large outdoor movie set outside of the castle walls just to make it a little more friendly. Here in this indent thing here, I'm probably going to put like some kind of boat or pirate ship or something and be like, oh, they're filming a pirate film or show or whatever. These buildings will just be like like indoor filming studios. This will be the main one. Pretty much just a hangar, but these ones will probably be like for TV shows or like what you call it, like game shows and news and stuff like that. So that's the city pretty much. Okay, so over here when I was saying the massive drawbridge thing, well, because this is like a double lane road, this will be a one way simply because of the airport to make traffic from the airport a lot easier. So you will only drive in on the left and you will only drive out on the right. All of these will be like both way and stuff, so you can like turn and whatever. But yeah, this main bit here will only be one way on each side. So you'll come in through this way, and then you'll go around the roundabout. Um, I need to put a car park in here somewhere. I might put the car park right in the middle of the roundabout or something. But okay, so let's say your staff, you come in, you'll be coming in through this way. You might come in that way. You probably come in this way, and come through the gate. There'll be gates and like security and stuff, and this side, you will first see on your left is airport emergency unit. This will be the airport fire brigade and maybe some ambulance crews, just a general just emergency response thing for anything bad that could happen at the airport. Next to that is a hangar that will have like flight school, so it'll be a hangar, but it'll be converted into like classrooms and stuff like that. Maybe some like maybe a couple aircraft in there. These yellow spots are literally just to show that there'll be like helipads and stuff around here because the flight school would be teaching like flying helicopters and things. And yeah, maybe there'll probably be like a couple on top of the emergency unit and stuff as well. Hello, sheep. This hangar will be service hangar, so this will have all the fuel storage in it. This will have all the spare parts. This is where aircraft will go into to get fixed. This will just be generally everything that doesn't involve flying. Yeah, this thing's just a windsock marker sort of thing. But yeah, there'll be a taxiways that go all the way around. You've got the big ass runway. Um, this is the terminal. Nothing to it, but it's a terminal. This is the air traffic control tower. Um, I might move it actually. I'm not sure yet, but I'm kind of all right with it being. How the hell did he? Can you jump over the metal fence? You can jump over the metal fence. Yeah, there'll just be two extra hangars here. Um, yep, that's about it really. I can't think of anything else. Tell you what, no, screw it. I will show you this stuff. So this is just me just coming up with some random ideas to come up with like storage containers. I'm probably going to come up with better ideas. If you guys can think of any better ideas, just let me know, or like send screenshots or whatever. That'll probably be easier. But yeah, this is just simple like storage container. I didn't want to go for the square because I made it like a complete like rectangle shape and it just looked way too boxy. So I took the corners off and I actually quite like that. I think it looks quite nice. Almost looks like a tanker kind of shape, but yeah, this is kind of me just messing around with windsock ideas. There's not really much I can do to make a windsock look like a windsock, but I'm fine with that. This here was me coming up with ideas for runway lights. Definitely not going to have this as a final thing, but basically I was going to say during the day you've got the red spotlights, so you can see the red lights on the outside of the lines for like the runway and the taxiways and stuff. But when it turns to nighttime, flick them up, and then you've got the big bright lights, because during the night redstone torches don't light up at all. But I don't know. I just think it looks really. It almost looks kind of desperate, to be honest. Just the fact that you got redstone torch there and the light that's lit up, and it's like, oh well, that's obviously what's powering that. You want everything redstone to be hidden when you have lights and stuff like that. Last but not least, this big ass thing over here. This is the idea I have for doing the actual underground, like the underground railway and stuff. So this would be what the station looks like. This is just an example station, a court station or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if actually have one that looks like this, but this is just a general idea. I'll have lights in the ceiling and stuff. I might make the tunnels actually a little bit thinner, to be honest, rather than having this there. I don't know. I don't know. It's still a work in progress, but basically the lines will come through. In the actual tunnel area that you wouldn't really normally see, um, there's kind of like going to be little gaps down the side where the power comes to the lines and things. I might just make it sensors, but my idea is more so. Let's say there's an emergency, you can flick that, and any like trains or anything on this will just stop, rather than having to worry about like signals and stuff. I'm not quite sure if I want to have gaps in the wall like this, or if I just want to have one continuous gap, or if I want to block it off completely. Not entirely sure about that. I'm quite happy with it as of now, but everything's going to change when we actually get around to building the thing. And when I say we, I don't mean just me and you guys watching. I mean me and you guys helping me along, giving me ideas. That's another thing, actually. If there's anything you think I should add to the city that I don't have in the city, um, it'd be great if you could let me know sooner rather than later, because as you can see, I've got all my space planned out. So if I get to a point where I can't expand anymore because there's not enough room, well, tough. Your ideas ain't gonna work. I mean, I might replace some buildings like the old factory and the amusement park or whatever. Mate, to be fair, this station might not even take up that much space, but it is just these are all just ideas for now. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut here. Um, Pretty much I'm just going to start off with the Redstone Monument. I'm going to probably talk through it a little bit, but I feel like a lot of it's just going to be sped up because for now, when I first start, I'm going to have to work out the plans for the roads because I want the width of the road to be equal to the distance between the lights because I want the lights to be like on a gridded system. I don't want things to be uneven. I want things to be nice and neat. So it might take me a little while to work out the distances of roads and stuff. But no, I'm going to start off with this main bit here. Let's go on with it.